welcome. My name is Gene, and today we're going to spend most of our practice in a form of an inversion for the body. An inversion is basically a position where your crown of the head is at a closer point to the ground than your feet. Just gives an alternative perspective for your body, a chance to move circulation around and just kind of get a sense of grounding into a space. So I tend to do one of these classes every so often, and it's especially beneficial if you find yourself traveling or just need a moment to take some time and just gather your thoughts a bit. So, a couple things. You will want to have a bolster or firm cushion that you can use, and we're also mainly going to want a space, a wall, that your legs can go up on for a good portion of time. So once you've gathered all of those materials for yourself, and of course, blocks and blanket for your use at any time, you're going to want to take your yoga mat, set it against the base of the wall that you're going to use, and then you're going to have a hip against the wall's surface so that the legs hoist up like so. Arms can position themselves in any way that you need, as it's all about just breathing in through your nose and breathing out through the nose, or taking a sigh or yawn through the mouth. Now, in terms of specifics, your legs don't have to be completely lengthened. You can bend the knees a little bit if you want to promote that added circulatory feeling. Can help move fluids from the ankles down the legs, which could be good. Legs could also, of course, be nice and long. If you want to get that hamstring stretch while pressing your lower back gently down onto the surface. And all the while observing how your body is creating a response system to this moment in legs up the wall. As shared before, it's meant to be a very potent grounding posture and can actually be a nice way of starting your practice overall if you happen to be practicing in a space with wall accessibility. And to really amplify that idea, you can use an intention that serves your space, like grounding, anchoring, rooting, or even just finding a place of center so that when you're ready to move your body, you are very aware and you are very much connected to what all is happening inside of yourself. And being candid, you are more than welcome to remain exactly like this for the entire practice, if this is what your body needs. Offering a legs up the wall practice of this nature every once in a while can just be a nice way of changing your rhythm up a bit, and it certainly hones into the hallmarks of yin yoga, this idea of holding shapes for a longer time so that your body notices and collects all the information regarding what's happening inside. Take another 3 more breaths here for you. Now, if you would like a little bit of movement, we're actually going to start with a semi-active pose here. On that breath in, the legs are going to go nice and long against the wall's surface. And then exhale to bend your knees, just putting your feet on the wall. Think about pressing the inner hip rotators comfortably together, just so that you've got an equidistance happening from the legs. And then next, inhale, press into your feet as you're lifting your back up off the wall, taking a good little wall-based bridge. Exhale, vertebrae isolated and focused as you press each portion down on the ground. Inhale, press into the feet again, lifting the back off the ground. You want to think about your shoulders and the backs of the arms staying firm and planted. And then exhale again. Back returns to the mat. Take another 3 more of these rolling wall bridges for yourself. And 1 more. Nice job. So now, having that firm cushion within reach for you, take another inhale. As you're rolling your body up for that bridge, set that firm cushion underneath you so that on the exhale, your sacrum is now resting on the cushion or bolster. Legs go long. As you settle back in, taking some time here, this is a form of honoring the curvature in your spine. It can be a very restful pose to offer your body, especially if you do quite a bit of back and shoulder work for any active modalities. So we're holding this shape for a couple of minutes. In that time, just start communicating within, creating that internalized dialogue. Does the bolster here serve you in any way? Does that cushion help you? In just relinquishing the need to sustain or hold the body in a shape. The answer to that question can be no. As a few breaths have passed, perhaps it's given time for your thoughts to filter, noticing what it is that you want to hold on the mind and what it is that you're comfortable with letting go of for now. Perhaps the subtle silence of the space can amplify that filtration process for you, really letting you hone in and focus in on whatever it is your body might be holding. It can especially show in these longer held shapes. Wherever it is you might feel some tension, some stiffness, and especially given the nature of this practice, if you are traveling or simply moving around a lot more than your body might want at a given time. Another 1.5 minutes or so. allow yourself another 4 more breaths. Good work. So taking that next inhale very gently, you're going to bend the knees just so that you bring the feet onto the wall. And then on the exhale, pressing into your feet again, lift the sacrum up so that you slide that firm cushion off from your back. And then just returning your spine down to the mat while the hands grab just beside the shins. Nice place to rock side to side a few times, just to give your low back a little relief and release. And then when that movement has served you, just making sure the space to your sides is clear, you're going to take a breath in, arms released to the sides. And then exhale, tipping your legs to the right side using the wall as a support. Now, you can keep yourself with the knees bent as you move into this twist. You can also extend the legs to that right side. Extending the legs may activate your left gluteal chain of muscles, just because you're getting an extra little stretch from that top leg as it's meeting the bottom leg. And then, of course, you're welcome to look at your right hand for a gentle version of this twist, or turn your neck to look at your left hand for something a little bit more engaged. All the while, you're really feeling your stacked sit bones press down inward toward each other, while your tailbone has that proximity to the wall, just reminding you again of that grounded intention. Now, at some point in this process of your twist, the body may find a shape that feels most comfortable and conducive for you today. And it's at that point that you might begin to deepen your breath a little bit more. So breathe in through the nose, even holding your breath so that you really feel the body taking in that life, that air, until the breath doesn't want to be held anymore. Exhale through the nose or mouth. And really making sure you use all of your breath so that the lungs are empty and ready for the cycle to continue anew. Take another 5 big breaths here for you. You're doing great. Yin Yoga is a lot about keeping these places again for longer periods of time. So the brain may try to make up for that stillness by being a little loud, having some more jarring thoughts, we'll say. Acknowledge it. It's important that you're having these thoughts at this specific time. But giving your body a chance to be still can help those thoughts process, and eventually either remain or relinquish. Nice job. Another breath here for you. And starting with the neck, if you looked away from your right hand, you're just redirecting the neck to look at the ceiling. And then on an inhale, you're sending your right hand under the left knee just to help that left leg to center. Now the idea is when your legs are stretched out as much as you feel comfortable, exhale, right hand moves under the right leg just to help the body move past the center point. Almost like you're turning or winding a clock until your legs reposition on the left side of your space. So now, reconnecting with your body's sensations, your right gluteal chain is getting an extra stretch here as those muscles are reaching toward the left side of your space. Right shoulder might come off the ground a little bit to make this twist accessible. Give yourself that agency always. And again, it all comes back to giving yourself a different perspective on your body and how you can move your body through a practice. Halfway point of your time on this twist. And because a lot of silence is utilized in a practice of this nature, if you find that your thoughts kind of take over and pull you in a specific direction, remember the deep breaths that you've been slowly creating and understanding for yourself during your time today. It is that deep inhale and exhale that will help bring you back to your mat and bring you back to the sensory experiences that your body is currently engaged with. The legs long to a side, the right sit bone reaching toward the wall alongside the left. Collar is open. Neck might be getting a little twist if you're looking at that right leg. And then just 2 more breaths to go here. And if you looked away from the wall or from that left hand, the eyes come back up to the ceiling. Next breath in, your left hand is moving just beside that right leg, helping it to center. And when the legs have stretched out enough, again, like the clock hands, exhale, left hand moves beside the left leg just to help bundle them back up and go long against the wall once more. Nice place to rebound the body a bit. You can bring the knees down to the chest again and sway side to side. You can keep the legs long. You can even reach the arms overhead to give your upper body a little stretch here. So just adding another posture here before we move along briefly. You're going to take another inhale through the nose, getting nice and long in your limbs. And then feeling the toes point, the arms reach up, exhale, bend the knees again, planting them on the wall. From here, you're heel-toeing your feet away from each other. Distance is always your choice. But you're turning out your feet just a little bit so that you arrive at what's called your wall-supported garland or your wall-supported squat. Again, arms can be positioned in any way that you need them to be. As we're here for some time, just to allow the body to process those twists and also to get a little activation in your external hip rotation. This is another posture worth noting, that if you find that your tailbone needs to come off the ground just a little bit to make this feasible for your body, allow that for yourself. Gravity, time, and breath and thought will all come together to eventually widen your lower back enough that it might return to the ground. When you feel like you've moved your body to a place that you can stay in, take a few breaths here, nice and deep again. It is that deep breathing that will help time move for you, so that it's thinking less about any of the uncomfortable sensations, or at least negotiating with the discomfort enough, and more about understanding the things that are becoming most prevalent in you now. How are the hips feeling? How are the knees feeling? How are the feet feeling? Pressed against the surface of the wall. Just arriving at that halfway point of time. And also worth sharing, every posture, as with every practice that you give yourself, is a suggestion, but never a requirement. So even as you hear that halfway indication, you can stay with the legs out like so. If you want a little bit of a reprieve, you can always bundle the legs in and take any kind of resting shape that feels good for you. So that if you would like to go back to that wall squat, the feet plant as you heel toe them away from each other again. 2 more breaths to go. Great work. Next, inhale, hands to the sides of your knees as you heel toe them back in together. And then breathing out, just choosing a side to slowly start rocking the body toward. Hands can be on the legs again to help bundle them beside your chest. But when you've chosen a side, tipping to that side into a fetal position, giving some gratitude to your time with the wall today. Not too many postures, but holding them for significant periods of time can really let you just drain the body of that stiffness, all of that stuff that lingers, especially involving the low back, the legs, even a little into the shoulder space. And then when that time has served you, you're just going to place your hands on the ground, help yourself up. And then before taking a seated savasana for your practice today, we're just going to come into a tabletop shape. Very briefly, going to have the hands under the shoulders and your knees under the hips. Just going to do a little spinal flossing here. So breathing in, press into your abdomen, peel it to the ground, tail and crown rise up. And exhale, hollowing your heart center so that you get a good curve in your spine. Nice. Breathe in. Abdomen goes down. Front body nice and frontally wide. Gotta love the redundancy there. And exhale. Press into the palms. Hollow the heart like the ribs and spine are giving a hug. Take about 5 or so more spinal flosses, just mostly seeing what that legs up the wall practice did for your back, if anything. And one more for good measure. Great job. So choosing a side now, left or right, you're just sitting back on that respective sit bone. The legs swing themselves through your center space. And then just finding a seat on your mat. So we're going to take about a couple minutes here. Now, I might be suggesting a seat for your savasana today, but maybe you still prefer going down onto your back. Always welcome to do that too. But it's just another opportunity to reflect. You moved through a wall-supported bridge. You took a spinal reset with that firm cushion. You did some nice long supine twists with the wall supporting you. And then finally, your wall-supported squat or malasana, just so that you could get a little extra hip opening and sacrum widening along the surface. So taking all of those things into account, find a place where you can reflect on those few postures you gave yourself. How's your mind feeling? How's your heart feeling? You could certainly call this a recovery practice for yourself if you just want a day where you can let yourself be, knowing that there's always an ebb and flow to how much we move versus how much we find stillness. But I digress. Remember your breath, honor your heartbeat. Leave behind any tension or stiffness you might have felt during today's legs up the wall practice. And as always, thank yourself as much as I thank you for all that you do on and off of your mat. that, enjoy your Savasana. Take a couple minutes just to reflect. I'll bring you back when it's time for us to part ways. And starting to bring some awareness back to yourself. Engaging with the breath. As you breathe in through the nose, observe how the air feels this time around, moving to the lungs versus the first breath or two you took at the start of your practice. And observe how the breath feels releasing it back outward through the nose or mouth. If there's still any hindrances or obstructions, or if the breath channel is open. That mindful recognition of your breath regulation might also warrant wiggles at the fingertips and toes. Tipping the neck side to side once or twice. If you're seated, it could be a neck circle or two. If you're on your spine, it could be pointing and flexing your feet. But again, these are all suggestions by nature, just a few different options that you can offer your body. Ultimately, it falls to you in deciding and choosing all the movements you want to do for yourself, honoring and strengthening your tether to this corporeal plane. because as always, you are more than welcome to end your practice in the conjured shape of your Savasana today. Whether it means staying on your spine or meeting me in a seat, as a place to reflect on this journey, legs up the wall, often hailed as one of the more potent postures in restoring the body's groundedness, but by certain means not the only posture to activate that sense of release and relief. Ultimately, come back to your focus today, whatever it was that brought you to your mat, as the arms, legs, and eyes seal your time here, however you need them to. It all comes back to grounding yourself in a space, and from that firm, established, rooted point, you can then decide how to move forward with your day, no matter what time of day this practice might have found its way to you. And with that, it has been my humble, happy honor to have shared this space with you today as you've shared it with me. Thank you for trusting me to guide you on this yin journey, legs up the wall, and may you always live this life in your authentic way, bringing your shine and signature radiance to this beautiful planet we share. The luminosity in me cherishes, respects, and will always celebrate the luminous blooming heart in you. Shanti. Namaste. Thank you so much again for making some time for yourself, and I hope that you enjoyed the slightly different flavored journey. As mentioned before, I tend to do a legs up the wall class once every so often, just because it is a nice option to give yourself, especially if you still want to move the body a little bit, but you need a day to rest or recover, or you still want to at least get the limbs going in some way. That being said, I thank you again for spending a part of your day with me, and until our mats meet each other once more, take care of yourself, enjoy the fruits of this world and this life that you live. Namaste.